What's good, Lucy Gang? We're here with another episode of Loose Squares Podcast. Which episode? Episode number 6.
It's lit.
It's your boy, Is That King?
Missy Fox.
It's Marty.
Yeah.
How y'all doing?
Mukbang.
I'm good, bro. I'm good. I'm chilling.
It's a nice little Saturday.
You know.
It's Saturday. Sticky icky icky. Sticky icky icky icky.
Is that a Ludacris song?
Yeah.
I remember that.
Cops just passed, just in a big old laugh. It's Saturday. Sticky
Oh, that's what they were saying?
Sticky icky icky. Ooh, ooh.
That's what they were saying? I never really understood. I like the song.
serious?
Yeah, I didn't know that was saying Saturday.
No, it's my jam. It's Saturday. I think that's the name of the song.
It might be, and I
It
still
is.
didn't know. I just still never knew that was what they were saying.
I mean, there's plenty of songs out there where we heard it one way as a kid, but it was a totally different way as you got older.
I will say, I always knew that Lloyd was saying fine too.
He said he don't know what he said. So how did you know what he did?
First of all, because it only makes sense. Second of all, when he sung it at the B2K concert, that's what he said. And it only makes sense.
When he got interviewed, he said he didn't know what he said.
He knew what he said.
And what song?
I don't know the name of the song. But you know what I'm talking about. You know what I'm talking about, right?
The one with Lil Wayne.
Oh,
Stop.
Yeah.
Wait a minute.
yeah.
He said she fine too.
Yeah. But
But
I
in
want
his Breakfast
you.
Club interview, he said he don't know.
Because that makes the most sense. She's fine too, but I want you. That makes more sense.
But maybe she was
Oh,
5
she's
too.
5 too, but I want you. What? I'm like, that doesn't make any sense.
But yeah, he said he don't remember what he said, so I'm gonna go with him.
It's fine too.
How you gonna tell me what I said? That's what black people say. So. You can't tell him what he said.
That's what he sung at the concert. I was listening.
Word. Okay. Can we get a review of the Millennium concert? Was it decent?
It was so good. Okay, let me tell you what happened. Ying Yang Twins rocking. Okay? I'm talking about
369. Hey.
hair got sweated out in the seat. It was a good time. I didn't realize that their track record was so long.
Yeah, hell yeah.
I didn't it didn't dawn on me. Or that big head bounce song. But it was really good. Oh, it was so good. Lloyd, he was cool. I wasn't really a Lloyd fan.
You weak. Okay. Go ahead. Do
He
your
had
thing.
braids.
So now that he don't got braids, he knows.
He do have braids.
But he got braids now?
Good.
Wow, I didn't know that.
Lloyd.
Oh yeah, he did. He definitely grew his head back out.
But okay.
Mario was good. Mario was
That
a
was-
bit
that-
boring. But
Really? You weren't a Mario fan, huh?
once that hair got cut, I was always a Mario fan.
You
But
know
Mario
what?
has a lot of Mario was real R&B, where everyone else had really high.
Yeah, he's
energy songs.
ballad, love, sex songs.
But he came on right before B2K. So to go from Chingy and Ying Yang Twins to then Mario.
Yeah, that was
just
bad. Okay.
But it was really good. B2K was good.
I like Mario. I was a huge Mario fan.
He was fine. He Empire, Russian Empire.
I do.
Devon.
And that song he sung on Wednesday was kind of decent.
Oh, you're up to date.
Yeah, I like that.
Winner. I'm proud.
That's one of my basketball trophies said that as a kid. LMA or LAMER. I said no, that's not how you spell my name.
Lamer?
That's not how you spell my name.
No.
That would have made me so upset.
Yeah.
I hate misleading the names.
Anyway, so what we got on the docket today? What we gonna do? We gonna twerk on
Let's
that?
take
Take it
If
easy.
you want me to get on this table,
Chill.
you shake yourself at them.
And shake a tail
You gotta
feather.
pay for that.
If you shake a tail feather, the only way you can shake a tail feather, you gotta wear what was his jeans? He ain't had jeans. Did Nelly have jeans for
Vocal.
girls?
Yeah, vocal tank tops.
But they was for girls?
I
Yeah.
bought them.
Well, I had Vocal.
No, who
that
asked
was Nelly. That was
Right.
Beyonce. I thought.
No.
Oh, he was apple bottom. You're right.
I was
You know what I'm
saying
saying?
Apple
You
bottom
had
jeans,
apple.
boots with the fur.
But anyway, on a more serious note.
That is serious.
Yeah, okay.
It's a premium package.
You gotta
You
pay.
have to pay $10 a month to get that on the Loose Squares website.
Fan. You doing fans only page?
Damn.
A nigga who pay for a fans only page is a sucker. A sucker.
When they got websites that actually.
If you pay for porn, you're a sucker.
But those websites don't have me.
I know you. I wouldn't pay to watch it. I wouldn't want to see it.
I was hoping that you wouldn't want to see it.
I went around high school asking people if I did a porn, would you watch it and critique it?
I wouldn't watch a porn with you.
And you wouldn't critique it. So you wouldn't help
No,
me get
I
you
would be
wouldn't
very
have
uncomfortable.
you wouldn't help me better in my work, my field.
No,
Such
I
a
think
bad friend.
you can ask random people those questions.
Okay. I mean, I wouldn't respect critiquing from a random person, but I understand. I wouldn't do it now. I was 18 when I asked those questions. Lots
We
of
should just
things.
get a microphone one day and just start going around asking random folks random questions.
I would do
I know you would.
it. Give me some of this.
I know you would.
I'm asking the motherfucker anything.
I'm all for that too.
You down with that?
No.
Ooh, I did not look.
You almost.
Anyway,
It
for
was
you to-
almost.
For you to say you didn't look, you look.
No, I didn't. I have a peripheral vision.
all right.
You look.
Okay.
My thing? Oh,
Smacking that motherfucker.
Right.
Only thing he missing is cheese and meat. Ooh,
You got
that's
some cheese?
good as
Okay.
hell, dude.
for real? Cause I go up there. Let me pause this.
Anyway,
Okay.
so how do y'all? I gotta ask this. I was thinking about this the other day because I see this a lot. But how y'all feel about interracial dating?
I always answer first.
She's fine too.
Are you looking at me to answer first? This is what I say.
Okay, I'll first before you answer how you feel about it, would you?
So that's what I was gonna say.
Okay.
I'm not against it for other people.
So you're not in.
Absolutely not. I'm not gonna do it. I would only do it in the sense of like, I'm not dating a white person.
Woo! Okay.
I'm not doing it. I don't care how down he is. You still got white parents.
How down he is.
I'm not doing it. I can't do it. Maybe I could do like a Latinx dude. Preferably not. I prefer to stick with the black community. I want a black husband. I want little black chocolate babies with pretty hair like their mama and good teeth like their mama.
What about you?
I'm for it. I mean, I don't know.
You do know. You just
No, I'm saying when I was growing up, like you learn something as a kid, and that become the preference that you have without fully having your own preference. So you grow up to have this insight or this vision of how life or how relationships are supposed to be when shit. If you love somebody, you love somebody. I mean, you can't stop how you feel about somebody, like just in general, just off of how you feel. Now, granted, yeah,
You like what you like.
you love who you love, you like who you like.
I don't understand that concept of you can't help who you fall for. You can't help who you fall in love with. Like, you can help who you align yourself with to fall for. So I don't understand what people say when they say that.
Well, if you're around somebody and unintentionally you become attracted to them, you can't really help being attracted to them. And exploring that, you can't help that.
I disagree. Because you pick who you want in your life and how you want to engage with this person.
Yeah, but if you're intrigued and you don't know why you're intrigued and you explore that and you end up liking them, you can't help it that you like them.
Maybe I'm different because I would never get to that point. Like with a white man, I would never get to that point of being intrigued.
But you,
like,
but you,
there's a
you.
wall.
You can't control when you're intrigued. You can't turn that switch on like, oh, I want to be intrigued. Like
Maybe, but you can control how you act on those.
yeah, but if you're intrigued, okay, we're gonna add that to the dick.
What's the word I'm looking for?
I don't know. I didn't even catch it. I just know you said some bullshit.
She
But
made intrigue plural.
intrigueness?
Intrigues.
No, I'm not the dumb friend.
Okay,
I didn't say the
anyway.
wrong word.
Anyway, I feel like if you're around somebody enough and you're intrigued and you may start liking them. So, and you saying you wouldn't put yourself in that situation.
Yeah, to feel those feelings.
But-
and if I am intrigued, like
You
let's
just
say
gonna cut it off?
I'm gonna cut it. Yeah, like what's the point? Because if we're hanging out, I have to want to do that. I'm not going to do that.
I feel like I feel like in doing that you limit yourself. And I'm not saying I'm for or against. For me, I couldn't do it. This gonna sound really bad.
What?
I wouldn't date outside my race, but I'm fucking. Not now. I ain't. Not now. But I'm saying I would fuck, but it wouldn't. I couldn't. No. It couldn't be serious. I don't care how intrigued I am. I just feel like I could never be this person around their family and their people. Like, you're not gonna understand me. Like, if I was in a white family, I definitely couldn't be this nigga.
Do you consider? Well, this is interesting with the concept of race. Do you consider dating an African interracial?
No.
Some people do.
I can see that because culturally it's different.
Mm-hmm.
I can see that, but I wouldn't see it as interracial myself.
Could you date Africa?
Could I? Yeah. If we, yeah, I would still feel like would be me around them. They look like me, so I'd be comfortable.
I could only date one of their mama was cool because them African mamas don't play.
I don't
This
give a
mouth that I
fuck. I don't give a damn. But yeah, I still could. But I mean, granted, if I came around and I could be myself and everything was cool and I could feel comfortable, maybe it'd be different outside my race. But I just don't think I could.
I feel you.
You know, that's my thing. Like, I just don't feel like it's not the attraction, it's not the person. I just don't feel like when it came to the grand scheme of things, I could sit down and be comfortable with being in my own skin around people that's not like me.
I agree.
So I would feel like it's kind of like being at work. Like, you put up this, I gotta be this way, and I'd never be able to take that down unless I'm at home. Like, that's tiring.
Right.
I wouldn't want to do it. But yeah, so yeah, for me, I'm sticking. Ideally, my wife gonna be back. So
When I was younger, I used to have the whole like, love is blind and you should be
Really?
able to date anyone that you want to. Yeah, but then I grew up and I started seeing the world for the way that I see the world. It was just like, no.
do you remember the moment that changed for you and what it was?
The circumstance would be when I moved to Texas
Okay, I can see
and
that.
saw life very differently. Because I used to be the kind of person that thought that like racism was a thing of the past. Because like, I mean, NIU was a
On paper.
PWI, but when you went to NIU, it looked like a black school.
What's a BWI?
PWI, predominantly white institution.
Okay.
So I used to like think, okay, racism is a real thing, people be tripping, like chill. And then I moved outside of Illinois and then
You saw it.
saw it for real, like and done to me
Wow.
by people who were white, people who were not white. So after that, it was just like, y'all will never understand.
Yeah.
And then just looking at the world of like what's happening today.
Yeah. Would you say it's gotten worse, the world, since like you realize that?
No, I think my eyes are just open now.
Yeah, because I mean, I feel like it never really stopped.
Yeah,
I feel like
it became more covert, maybe.
right. To make it kind of like how the word nigga and trust me, it's the reason why I'm bringing this up. Kind of like how the word nigga don't affect us, but it affects us if somebody white say it.
Right.
So, in the world, like growing up, we aren't open. Like our eyes aren't open to what's actually being done or what's actually being said or how black people are looked at or act upon until something actually happens to us. So I mean, like I'll say this. I'll say this with my answer that I gave. Now, am I open to dating other races? Yes. What do I prefer? Honestly, I can't say that. I can't say that I would have a white wife with biracial kids. And me personally, I have this thing to where I want my kids to have some type of background of like who they are or where they come from and something like that, and then like they hate half of who they are, and then they love half of who they are. So, like, don't get me wrong. Like, I understand. I'm open to it. I'm open to it, but I do have limits to where I will go.
Do y'all feel like somebody who date outside their race, say they marry a white person, do you think they still have? Do you think they can still advocate and argue like the black struggle? Do y'all think they can?
Yes, I do think they still black at the end of the day, and there's still privileges they're not gonna have no matter who they're married to. So,
but there are privileges that they will have because of who they in higher levels, of course. Mm-hmm. There are still privileges that they'll have that most people won't have.
Yeah, I think they can still advocate because I mean, ally is ally, right? Like, and if that's your experience, when you walk outside that door, you gonna always be black. I would question like, how is it that you can be like? There's people who are so pro-black, and then.
Right.
I question like, what is that? Yeah, and it's hard to like say, but then I question it. Like, it seems like actions and values don't seem to match in that area, and so that's the problem for me.
Yeah,
but
I get it because before you just said that, I didn't look at it like that. Allies and allies, I never thought about that because I feel like if you do, like your entire argument against the black struggle is irrelevant. Mm-hmm. Because I feel like you opted out. I feel like you kind of opt out of the struggle because it's like taking the easier path. It's like, and granted, I do agree. Like you like what you like. I honestly feel like that you like who you like. You can't control it. I feel like you can't control it because I feel like most people when they're intrigued, like I like that person. Let me see what it is about. Like we all curious for understanding. I feel like.
Right.
Why do I like this person? What is it about them? Let me be around them. And then once you figure it out, then it may fizzle or it may grow to something bigger, but people are intrigued to know. So who it is, you can't choose. I do feel like that. But at the same time, it's like, if you decide to go that way,
you can't battle with us. See, basically what that is being open to the fact. Because if you're open to the fact and you're intrigued, then you will pursue it. But if you know for a fact which direction you want to go, like you said,
I disagree. Go ahead.
No, I'm saying like you said, like you will fuck interracially, but you wouldn't marry interracially. That's a choice to say. Like mentally, I know for a fact that I will be with somebody black. Like no matter what.
You feel like I don't feel like it's limiting. For me. But I took it as you saying that it'd be limited.
No, not at all. I'm saying that with you saying that this is where your mind is already. So yes, you're closing off the possibilities of you being with somebody else, saying that this is where I'm gonna be at.
But for me, the reason why I can definitively say that is because when I'm around other races, I don't feel the same.
Right. Mm-hmm. Right.
Mm-hmm. I mean, sometimes women are attractive regardless, no matter what color they are. So I can be like, that woman's attractive. I would fuck. But am I interested in learning who she is? Mm-hmm. No, I'm good.
Right.
Because I feel like I've been around more. I've been around different races and their families and shit, and it'd be like a show. I feel like I'm putting on a show for however many times, like as much time as I'm around. Mm-hmm. And then when I leave, it's like, and I couldn't live like that. And I went to a Catholic school. I went to an all-white Catholic school as a kid. I only dated white girls from kindergarten to 8th grade. I dated white girls. And when I got to school with black girls, I was like, what is this? This is amazing.
Right.
And my friends talked about me for dating white girls. They talked about me for dating white girls. And then when I got to Richards, it was like, this is what y'all had? And I never did know. There was no chance. I could never. I think women are flawed, men are flawed, but women are flawed, but I would rather deal with a flawed black woman than any other race at all. I'd rather fix what we got than go anywhere else. That's me.
Why do you? Go ahead.
No.
I'll change the subject. Go ahead.
But no. I just feel like if I can't be myself, I can't really live. Like when I go to work, I have to be somebody. When I come home, I can just. It's like a breath of fresh air. And if I gotta be this person at home and be this person at work, it's like, granted, some people do it maybe, but that just ain't for me. If I don't got people I can just be myself around, I probably cut like years off my life. And I don't fuck that, I'm good.
But then I would also say there's also a certain type of black that I'm not going to date. Like if I have to explain to you my struggle and you look just like me, that's a turn on. Don't get me wrong, I will educate. You know, there are some people in this world, like black people in this world, who don't get it.
I said that they blind to the
They are blind to the struggle. They don't feel like there's anything wrong in the world. And that's fine. And I will educate you, but that's already a turn off.
Exactly, that's a turn off. That's it. Like, I agree with you 100%. Like, you already, it's gonna sound not dead, but like you already don't count. Like to me, like right. You already not being considered after I see something like that. Mm-hmm. Like, no, I'm good. Like you gotta understand, and in the struggle that we go through, there's people that look like us who not gonna be allies, and those are those type of people. And I mean, maybe for some that's not a turn off, and they can deal with it.
I don't need you to have struggled. Like I have lived a very privileged life, right? Like. But I get it. Like I understand it. It's one thing to like be privileged and just be blind to the facts. You know what I'm saying? Like it's right in front of your face.
Yeah.
Do you think that black men get a bad rap when they date interracially compared to black women?
Yes.
Why?
I think both get a bad rap.
I mean,
I can only speak for me. You both get a bad rap for me.
What's crazy is this. I would say that it's equal as well, but the people that criticize both the most, I would have to say, is a black woman.
Yeah.
So woman, if a black woman see a black woman with a white man, they gonna say something.
Level up, girl.
Right. Or like it's always something to be said amongst that. Now, how often would you see a black man making that same reference? Of course, yes, we talk shit, but I'm not gonna say that it's more.
When I talk shit, it ain't to the girl, though. It's to the dude. Like, well, I bet I could fucking bitch, but I'm gonna leave that there.
Yeah. And that's it. I mean, we look at it as like, oh shit, that's an opportunity right there. Let me try to slide in. But nah, I would say that it would be equal, but it would be equal amongst being brought up or criticized by black people. I don't think no other race would feel a certain way.
I do. Because I feel like white men hate when black dudes with white men.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Italians too.
Mm-hmm. More so.
I was gonna say Hispanic fathers.
Yeah. I feel like y'all know race really like they want to know with black men.
Black men.
And I feel like we more dominant. And they have more to offer, but the opportunity is less.
Okay, so what you just said was you feel like there isn't any race who likes their women with black men.
No.
Would you say the same about their men with black women?
Any other race? No.
Yeah.
No.
I've never really paid attention because I don't care about the men. I wouldn't say that. I'll take that back. I've never analyzed it, but I would say no because I don't think many races like blacks. I think more so like if you look at the percentage, most non-Caucasian races don't understand that we're all in the same boat. We're all minorities, and I feel like they want to advocate and be more like whites, opposed to like
Blacks.
being a minority and understanding that
Or
if
themselves.
we unite, we can. Like we're all the same. We're all looked at as the same. If you're not one of them, you're not one of them. They're not gonna look like. They're not gonna look at you as such. But they want to be that. So every race outside of blacks can date white women, and for the whites, they'll be like, "Oh, that's one that we can take advantage of. He'll do anything." That's how I look at it.
Do you get offended when you see black women with white men?
No, I don't. I just feel like, oh, that's that's what you like. You that type, and not in a bad way. It's just like maybe you just not attracted to it, or maybe you wasn't around those kind of men.
Right.
Maybe that's what you used to. The same for black dudes who like white women. Maybe that's what you like. I feel like when black dudes date white women or any outside of their race, either you don't like someone who will challenge you, because I feel like black women, they challenge you because they know better and they want better. Which I don't want no woman who I'm gonna just walk over and do anything with. If you ain't gonna stand up for yourself, I really don't like that shit. I'm gonna walk over you and be like, see, look what I did. Look, you got to do better. But I feel like as a black man, damn, I forgot what I was saying.
I wouldn't say that I get offended, but I do care. I care. Like, I care when I see my black students with all white friends. I wonder, like,
Do you
what?
know yourself? Do you know?
And that's
the
not
world?
honoring. And from that protective instinct of they don't have your best interest in mind. Maybe they do,
They
but
don't.
I'm gonna always assume that they don't.
They don't. They
So when
can't.
I see that, when I see like a black person with someone different race, I'm just like, wow, were there no other options? And do you really understand what you're doing? Like, do you?
Yeah, but they're
is it
kids
right?
though. You know, they're children in a sense,
Yeah.
because
My
I'll
students aren't children.
They are children.
I mean, they are, but they're not.
how so? Because I'll say this: when I was in undergrad, I didn't understand the world was like it was until I was 20.
I said the same thing.
So
They're not children though. They
at
just
freshman, sophomore year in college, I wasn't a child in the sense of my mother taking care of me going home every day, but mindset, seeing the world, I wasn't an adult. The world didn't affect me to know actually how it was until I was 19 or
you were
20.
still in the bubble.
Exactly. So those kids could still be in that.
They are.
Oh.
But the reason why I push back on that is because Generation Z is in this world of social media. They can see everything. They can see the injustice. They can see what's happening. I'm mad that your parents aren't talking to you and having conversations about what's happening in the world. Because speaking for just my students, their parents are not having those conversations with them.
But you gotta
And that's
understand
troubling.
though, and
No, I feel like you was about to go where I was about to.
maybe. But what I was gonna say is, in social media, you can see it, and in most cases, if it's not affecting you, you're gonna think that it can't affect you.
I was about to say go back towards the type of black person you said that you wouldn't date. The ones that are blind to it.
Yeah, it's like
you gotta
oh, I
think
see
about
that, but that can happen to me.
That go back to that episode
You feel
of
me?
All American. It go back to that episode of All American when they got pulled over.
Yeah,
He was talking back. Yeah, he was talking back to the
You know what? Who was
officer.
that you?
I put it
Yeah,
on.
he definitely put it. But look, he was talking back to the officer, all of that, like going crazy.
But
The one who
just
actually
like
came from
when-
the hood,
when
who
he
knew
know.
it. Like he was
He
like, my
know.
mom taught me this.
Yeah,
but
because you have to. But just like he asked it, he was like, why you ain't had that conversation with him? He's this. He may live here, but he's this.
I agree, and that's what I'm saying. I have a problem with that.
But see, you know what I was gonna say earlier? It's like when you have a child, your goal ideally is to protect them from the world. Ideally, you don't want them to know. That's how I was raised. I don't want you to know that this world will swallow you if you let it. I'm gonna protect you. This I got you. But when the world show, ain't no telling what age it'll be, but when it show, that's when you will realize. That's why actually, when do you remember when you realized the world was what it was?
And I question, how can you protect me from something without educating me about what you're protecting me from? Because I'm the kind of person, you couldn't tell me like, Nisi, don't do this just because.
Yeah, I get it.
No, I mean, I'm not gonna do it now because you didn't give me an explanation about what's happening.
But at the
so like,
same
you
time,
have to educate. I think
it's a
as
real
a
fear,
parent,
though.
you should educate your
As a
child
black parent, it's a
about what you're
real
protecting
fear.
them from.
It's a real fear. I don't never want, and I'll have a child one day. I don't ever want my son and daughter to experience the police interactions I had, but they will.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't want you to. I'm gonna hope and pray that you never do. But I can't control when it happens.
So does that mean that you're not going to have those conversations? Because of your fear?
The type of person.
We all for it.
No, the type of person I am. But
Right.
in the generation where our parents were, they want to protect us from that.
Right.
I feel like every parent that raised their kid, everybody I know, their parents tried to protect them from that.
I
And
feel
it
like-
came.
I feel
You
like-
gotta realize we're in an evolving world. The shit that parents are doing in our generation isn't the same shit that the parents before did.
Or before
I was
that?
about to say, I feel like our generation is the conversation generation. We're the generation that's starting to talk now.
Generation Y for a reason. Why this, why that?
Right, like we're the generation that's starting to talk more. We're the generation that want to get to the bottom of everything. Like now, like both of y'all just said the exact same thing as far as like you being the type that wants to know like what are you protecting me from, and you being the type that want to tell your kids like that's who we are. Like I feel like when it comes to like this upcoming generation or the kids that we're about to have or far down the line, not now, not saying now, all right. But yeah, the kids that we'll have, like of course, yes, it's selfish as hell for us to want to have kids in this world. But if our parents thought that way as well, we wouldn't be here. So for us to want to have kids, to fulfill ourselves and bring them into this world, we have to educate them. We have to let them know that this is what's out there. This is what you will endure. No matter what level of success I will be at, you will know exactly where your father came from, what he had to go through, what you will have to go through.
What I will say, and I agree 100% wholeheartedly. I feel like just to advocate for your parents before, I feel like they ain't want to tell your children that, because telling your child that at a young age, they'll lose hope.
Bro,
that'll take hope from you.
That was me, bro.
That'll take hope from you.
Bro, I was oblivious to a lot
because
of things.
You gotta understand when you oblivious to the fact that there'll be obstacles, your effort is different. You get what I'm saying? Does that make sense to you?
I'm listening.
When you don't know that there'll be obstacles, you'll dream to the highest level.
Mm-hmm.
Obstacles only deter you. So who wants to do something ideally in their mind like, well, if I do this, I'm gonna have to find this, find that, and be the best, better than everybody else for us, and still only get here.
Yeah.
When you oblivious, you like, I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna get there.
Mm-hmm.
Not knowing that you got to do this, but your heart is there. And then as the road goes, you're gonna learn that it's like that. But I don't want to tell my kid to get to this point. You're gonna have to be the best, get less recognized, but you're gonna have to go through this, go through that, go through this, go through that, and then you might break the ceiling, and then you will get through. And they're gonna be like, "Damn, I gotta do all that."
At what point do you think those conversations should be had?
Teenage, I think. Teenager, I feel like maybe 17, 16.
I said like, what's teenager?
Yeah, 16, 17.
That's an open question, right?
Mm-hmm.
I honestly believe that conversation needs to be had once they understand a conversation. Like once they can retain,
as soon as they can comprehend.
When they can retain. No, I'm not saying under like comprehend.
Comprehend
I'm
is
talking about
retaining.
No, retaining and comprehending is two different things.
Okay.
You could talk to somebody, but if I don't understand what you're saying, then I'm
comprehending it.
I see that it's two different things too. Retaining.
Because retaining information is something that sticks with you.
It's gonna stay with you.
Yeah,
I'm not comprehending.
Comprehending is like I understand what you're saying to me, but I don't understand what you're saying.
I understand what you're saying, but I'm gonna forget this shit tomorrow because it's not important.
Okay.
Right. So that's what I'm saying. Like when kids can actually retain the information that you're saying.
But I feel like there's no set age where you retain information. Because I remember shit from when I was 7 or 8 or 9 that I don't remember when I was 15. There's no set age for
But I'm
that.
saying like you can have regular conversations with your kid.
When they're 7 or 8.
Right.
And if it's significant, they'll remember it. But you can have those same conversations at 13 and they
But
won't.
if you start early, then when like you don't know when something will happen.
You don't.
So
having that conversation at 8, I feel like that'll limit them.
I don't.
I don't know. I think
Look, when
it's
you
perfectly
go out, don't be around police. Do this, and you have that at 9. They gonna look at the world different, bro.
But I wouldn't frame the conversation like that.
No, but he's saying when they can retain information.
But I wouldn't frame it in that way.
No, I would.
Okay, the conversation that you would have, what would it be retaining?
So here's about police, right? I wouldn't say stay away from police. I would say, so police are here to serve and protect you, but not all police have your best interest in mind. So when you encounter them, here's some things that you should do just in case. But that's not.
I felt okay. No, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to cut
But
you off.
that's different than saying police are bad. Stay away from them. It's a full picture. They're good, but some of them aren't, and so just in
Most of
case,
them are.
here's how
Most of them.
you act in certain situations. Like
So at what age did you have that conversation?
early. I was a kid whose mom told her about sex when she was like 3 or 4, and I was the last of all my
And you
friends.
retained
to lose
that
their virginity.
information at 3 or 4.
I was the last of all my kids.
But I'm saying,
or all my
you
friends.
retained that information at
Because
3 or 4.
she reiterated constantly about sex, what it was, what it wasn't. We didn't have no stories or babies come from cemetery, but this is what it is. And so when the kids would talk about it,
So you having that conversation, you reiterated it from starting from that.
yeah, why not?
I'm
That's how you learn anything.
I just feel like it's gonna have them jaded. Because
I understand that.
Honestly, my mama never taught me about that. I just knew
About sex.
police. I just knew. Honestly, I just over time encountering them, I just knew. I could feel these motherfuckers ain't right.
My parents never told you about that, but I also never.
I've sat in houses that got raided and shit. As a kid though, obviously they ain't looking at me, but
Right.
I seen it and them motherfuckers ain't. I knew.
Yeah.
Y'all ain't. My mama came over there when one of the houses got raided, and I got up. They was like, everybody sit down. I got up. Boy, my mama outside.
You would.
Fuck.
You
You know
would.
what I'm saying? Man, that's my mama, nigga. I don't care what you talking about. And she took me home. Shit. That was it. Like, but I knew, like, this shit ain't right. The shit they doing ain't right. I just knew. Like, I ain't never get that. I ain't get the sex talk neither.
Really?
But I just
I
knew.
never got it.
I just knew.
Really? My
I mean,
parents
I
told me to
get
call
sick.
a penis a tea-talkie, so that if anybody ever touched me, they'd be like, I can say it. They wouldn't know what I was talking about. It was like a code word.
That's smart. That's interesting. But I ain't having those. I feel like this might be irresponsible, but I feel like I'll let you find your way. I mean, obviously, I'll teach you. If you feel uncomfortable, you can tell me. If somebody doing something, you tell me. But in terms of finding sex and shit like that, once you're an adult, because I feel like as a kid, most times, if you're down the right path, if you not in the streets and shit, police ain't gonna really fuck with you because you're gonna be with a parent. You're gonna know how to be well behaved, shit like that. That'll be taught to you. You don't have to know when you're around an adult, respect them. Whether it be police or a regular person. But when you become an adult in police eyes, 15, 16, 17, then we need to have those conversations. Because you're gonna run into this, and no matter how respectful you are, your skin color is not gonna help you. You're already a target. I feel like that's when you should have this conversation. Not at 3, 4, not at 7. Because I feel like if my mom would have that conversation with me at 7, man, what are you talking about? I'm going to football practice. Like that's all that matters.
Would it be
Like,
different if
see-
your child was questioning it though?
No. But if they're questioning it, that means we need to have that conversation. You understand?
Okay.
But at 7, 8, 9, I didn't even know the world was that. I didn't even know I lived in a poor neighborhood at 7 or 8 or 9.
But
Like,
these
I didn't
7,
even
8,
get
and 9
it.
year olds have whole social
Yeah,
media
no, I
accounts
get it.
where
I
they see all
get
this
it. I
stuff.
get it. I get it. But I'm saying from my childhood, that conversation didn't need to be had.
Right.
I feel like
Before you say that, I just want to say we got all the way here from would you date interracially. This is a good conversation.
We're almost in this podcast.
I feel like I'm all for what you were saying. I'm all for it. But I feel like there's certain conversations that need to be had at those age levels. I feel like now I'm not gonna have the sex talk with my child at 3 or 4. I understand why your mom did it. I understand it.
Did it work?
But I will say that yes, when it comes to interactions with the police, I get them, having that talk at the teenage years. Tamir Rice wasn't a teenager.
He wasn't. He was 13.
He was 12.
Okay, a year. Okay.
He just turned 12. But I'm saying like don't get me wrong.
Okay, so in that situation, not to cut you off, in that situation, yeah, my mama had conversations like that with me. They'll be playing with those guns outside and shit like that.
Yeah.
I get that, but
no, I'm just saying.
That's a one-off. That's a one-off.
Is it?
Playing with guns outside?
Is that a one-off?
I feel like it is. When else? I mean, how many times is your child playing with guns outside?
That's noted.
But I mean,
His kids, they're still like in Chino. Me working at Best Buy, like his kids are walking there with play them little gun toys that make the little whirly sound, like when you pull a trigger.
no, I don't have a child. I don't know what toys you speak of.
You ever tell them? So like,
Yeah,
But that
but I'm just
those
saying,
I feel like that's a one-off. That's not a everyday. A child is going to be outside playing with the gun. No, well, no, not to say every day, but it's not like
But I'm saying like
it's not an everyday occurrence that situation is happening. A child's being shot because they had that.
oh, that's what you're saying.
Yeah, that's a one-off. That happening is a one-off. And I'm not saying that those police are
right.
excavated of whatever they did, but yeah, if your child has a BB gun and he goes outside, look, you got to be careful with that. You can't just be pulling that out. I honestly wouldn't even let my child outside with something like that.
I wouldn't. I was gonna say I wouldn't
Well,
let my child have a gun.
I used to have BB guns and stuff like that, but we played with those in the house.
Or
You don't go
backyard.
outside with those. So those conversations, yeah, but on a grand scheme, I'm talking grand scheme like where you're just living, you're literally just living and things are happening to you. I'm talking those conversations. You got to understand, look, you different. We're different. We're not what society likes.
So granted, we're changing our stories now. Like we're in the process of changing where we came from. What if you were living in that same predicament?
That same time, my child
No, not time. What if you're still living in the same area? Of course, yes. Robbins is starting to like build itself up.
It's not. It's not. You don't have to help us.
No. I'm talking about like, the way that every like. Of course, yeah. You're gonna always have somebody who want to build up communities, but that's what I'm saying. That's basically what I'm saying. Like you have black people that want. To
Okay.
Like you have black people that want to do better, but we didn't have that growing up. Like we didn't see black politicians always trying to make a better change.
Shout out Dirty Red.
Say that again.
Shout out Dirty Red.
Yes, sir. But that's what I'm saying. Like, say for instance, if we weren't in the predicament that we are in, trying to better our lives and the areas that we want to raise our families, when would you talk to your kid about being black?
I mean, you gotta understand, bro. It's not about. I don't feel like it's about an age. If I experienced it, I know what's out there, and I will talk to you when I feel like you're ready. When I feel like it's coming to the point where those people are not gonna look at you as innocent no more. Because I feel like some black kids, when I was a black kid, society looked at me as innocent. I feel like that. Society looked at me as innocent. I got looked at as innocent. Maybe I'm one of the few, but I feel like I was looked at as innocent.
I know I did because my skin was a tad bit lighter than.
I ain't light skinned, nigga.
But look,
I ain't get looked at as innocent. I got looked at as innocent.
This why I say that, because like me and my cousin, we go out. The difference between me and my cousin is he looked like he grew up in the hood. I look like I grew up. How I
Privilege.
grew up.
Okay. Yeah.
So both of us probably will get harassed the same way, but they're gonna be a little bit rougher on my cousin than they are with me.
You believe in that?
It happened.
I definitely agree with that.
It happened. I was picking my cousin up from my little cousin up from school. Me and my cousin got stopped. Both of us had to get out the car. Slammed him against the car. He's still talking, going crazy. Nah, he didn't start talking until they slammed him. They just told me to put my hands on him because I did what they told me. I did what I knew. But because he looked like he was from the hood, they treated him different. They didn't know him. But what I'm saying is like, now I'm saying like, granted, we are trying to better our lives. So we won't grow up, or our kids won't grow up in the same areas that we grew up. But if we were still where we grew up, when do you have a talk, a one-on-one talk with your child about being black? I went to a whole school where literally from first grade up until 8th, that's all we knew. Like black people this, black people that. Like not necessarily. My parents wasn't like, oh yeah, you need to learn this. No, it was because I had a teacher that I thought was the dopest teacher ever. Starting in school.
Bro. What's that name?
I'm not giving them a shout out.
Are you fucking
No.
Well, fuck you.
Like, don't get me wrong. That school taught me everything. That school taught me everything. My whole foundation. I'm not gonna lie. I give it to them as far as like who I am as the premise of my education. But just in general, like if it wasn't for that, then I probably would have been one of those kids who went to a suburban school, didn't know what the fuck was going on in the world. Like you don't necessarily have to scare them with what's going on in society to teach them about society. Mm-hmm. So I feel like when you are able to retain like the information, it should be brought up. Like you will know who you are regardless. Like you don't have to ask a question. You don't have to say. You don't have to feel a certain way. Like whichever way you want to go as a kid. Like as you grow up, whichever direction you want to go, is because you made that choice. Now, do you want to fight for the cause too, or do you want to protect your generation or your family that you raising up from what you was taught?
That's an interesting way to put it.
Very interesting way to put it.
I feel like I feel like I want to do both. Right. Mm-hmm. Fight for myself, but I feel like at an age where having a real life conversation, I feel like I'm going to always have that with my child. Whether 3, 16, but the content may be different. So at 3, I'm still going to, baby, you're beautiful. If it's a girl, I feel like I'd always be telling my daughter she's beautiful. Mm-hmm. No matter what nobody say, you're beautiful. Yeah. So that's going to be something that, like your mama talk to you over and over, that's something I'm going to preach into my child.
Yeah, for sure.
But maybe, okay, if teenage would be ideal to be like, look, this is what the world is. But maybe junior high, 12, 13 would be like, look, talk to me.
Different levels of transparency.
Yeah, it couldn't start out like, look, this is what, you know what I'm saying? But
right.
The older you get, the more blunt we're going to be. Yeah. Because at 18, I know you didn't seen the world. 19, you didn't seen what this is. Mm-hmm. And I can answer all the questions that you got because me and your mother didn't live this.
Right.
We didn't been here. Your uncles, your aunts, they didn't been here. You can talk to any of us. But not at 7. Like, I don't want to tell you at 7 that, look, these people are like, this is a dangerous world. It's a sick world. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's hardening. That'll have your child jaded, super jaded, and angry at the world. Because I was angry at the world when I was a kid. I ain't had no faith in people when I was a kid. Because I knew, like, this is what it is. Like, I used to ask shit like that, like straightforward. My mom was like, you gotta believe in people. Like, no, that's what they is. That's what they are. That's what they are. And she was like, no, you gotta believe in people. I was like 8. Mm-hmm. So it like, I don't want to have nobody looking at the world fucked up when they a child. But the child, you're supposed to be able. I want to protect you as long as I can. And then once you start seeing it on your own, I'm here.
And I don't think either way is right or wrong.
Yeah, no, there's no wrong
I'm
way
saying
to
that for the
parent.
camera.
Yeah, there's no
There's
wrong
just-
way to
right,
parent. There's no
parents do
right
the
way
best
to
they can,
parent.
and
Yeah.
with the knowledge they have at the time.
Yeah. Because I was about to say, the reason why,
Word.
the reason why,
I'm pushing.
the reason why I brought up like that point was because my mom was the parent that didn't want her kids to know certain things, but she didn't keep us like oblivious until, of course, we got to the age where we was able to ask questions.
Right,
we
right.
watched the news and stuff like that. But if it wasn't for me going to like the school I was going to, then I probably would have been oblivious majority of my life. Like, bro, I'm not gonna lie, and I'm not like it's kind of like I'm kind of ashamed to even admit this, but I do admit it. I didn't know what a correctional facility was, bro.
Wow.
Until I was about like 17.
That's something to be ashamed about.
Yeah, like
You know what?
no,
I didn't know that it was called a correctional facility.
Like I didn't know,
And
bro. I
that
had
goes
family
into
members.
anything.
I had family members in jail, and I didn't know that that's where we was at.
Okay.
Like I thought it was training camps. Like I thought
Yeah.
it was like,
But as a child, you really.
But that's what I'm saying.
You gotta. I mean,
and I understand it.
even then, like how you went there, I still wouldn't want to explain that to my child
Right. That's what I'm saying.
because I don't feel like that's an essential thing that you're gonna need to learn in life. You're never gonna be there unless we take you there to visit somebody. That's not. Oh, look, this person's in jail. They did something bad. I don't think I would be like.
I would.
I know you would. The way you looking is. But I
Because
don't
little
think.
kids can find themselves in jail if they go down the wrong path.
But
very early, especially
but that's
black.
but that's raising them though. That's a part of raising. If you raise your child, it's tough to say right because there's no
Right.
wrong or right. But if you involved in your child life, there's no way they're gonna end up like that. That's how I feel.
I was gonna say you
I
had
disagree.
kids that make decisions when they're not in your care.
My older brother had great
All the
life.
love in the world. Okay.
All the love in the world. Like
Made bad decisions.
on his own.
No,
Just because, like,
But
he
see,
had a good
that's- I still
family,
feel like
had
that's-
never want for
I still feel
nothing.
like
He
that's
just
teaching,
that was
though.
his thing.
I feel like in this world, and maybe this ain't the right way to do it, but you gotta teach leaders. You gotta be able to teach a person to lead. And understand you gotta learn first, but you gotta make your own decisions. You're an individual. Don't never follow the pack. I feel like growing up, I felt when something was wrong and I shouldn't do it, I didn't do it.
And I want you to make the best decisions based off of all the information that you can.
Yeah.
Not just by just going out there
Yeah.
thinking you see a little bit. Let me actually give you a lot of context and then you go off
Yeah.
and do what you want to do.
I get that, but you also gotta understand kids be around their friends, and you gotta teach. Like, look, just because they do it don't mean you gotta do it.
Uh-huh.
Right.
Like, you're gonna be better off making your own decision and be able to stand alone than you is gonna be able to go with them. Like, people will respect you off that. Like, the things that's praised when we kids and in high school teenagers aren't the same things that praised when you adults. Because it's a lot of dudes who was them niggas in high school, and they ain't them niggas no more.
Okay? Ooh, I saw
You
something
feel
on
me?
Facebook the other day.
They is not them niggas no more.
It's crazy because I used to want to be one of them dudes that was praised for the same shit that they was being praised for in high school. I'm getting praised for the shit that I was in high
Wasn't
school.
you
That
exactly the things you weren't doing?
Yeah.
Like, oh, you're a good dude, Is that-
Right.
bro. Like that's in this hindsight.
Yeah.
Grant, you know what I'm saying? It's hindsight. Like, oh damn, like I did the right shit. You know what I'm saying? Like that. Not saying me, I'm not getting praised for shit I'm doing now, but that's how it is, and you got to be able to teach your child, like, look, be yourself. Don't do nothing that make you feel uncomfortable. If you don't want to do it, don't do it. Something, you know what I'm saying? You don't have to follow the path. Like,
Great job.
there's a difference between being a shepherd and a sheep. There's a big difference.
Yeah.
Like, if you're a sheep, you're gonna follow the herd every time. You're gonna do what the people do. I want my child to be a shepherd. Like, you know what? Nah, y'all go off. Y'all can do that. Go ahead. I'll be here when y'all get back. You know what I'm saying? Like, we cool. Y'all do what y'all want to do, but I'm gonna do what I want to do.
Yeah.
And I feel like at all times they should do that. And if he going down the wrong path and he the one like I'm gonna do the bad shit, then hey, look. I did everything I could, and maybe that's who you are. But I doubt that that's gonna be who the person that is, because I'm too positive for that. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't got nothing in my body to be like, yeah, you should be a fucking scammer. You should go do this or that. You know what I'm saying? Like, I ain't teaching that to my child.
Right.
So at the same time, it's like, I'm gonna teach you to be yourself, but I'm gonna teach you to be yourself and own some shit. Do this, do that. You should do this.
In which these conversations are different if it's a girl that you're raising.
I'm sorry. Yeah.
I mean,
woman, man, especially, I think it's more so if it's a woman. I'm teaching my daughter way more to be her own than a man.
And I would have to say that I would be the same amongst both.
And
I think my priorities would be different.
I
would teach the same, but my priorities are very different if I'm raising a little girl versus raising a little man. It's gonna be different. I know
in terms of what? 'Cause you may be right.
As to like what I'm gonna emphasize. I'm gonna emphasize police brutality or being a black man in this world very differently with my son than with my daughter. My daughter might talk more about the sex concept, right? Or like knowing yourself and confidence. I'm gonna give that to him too, but I'm gonna prepare them in a little different ways.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
That's 100% factual. I would agree.
So.
But I feel like honestly, I want to be active in my kids' life equally, but I think I want to pay more attention to my daughter than my son.
I think that it is fair that if children are raised in two-parent households, the father should focus more on the daughter, and the mother should focus a little bit more on.
But I focus
I
focus
differently,
equally as my wife and my son, but a little more than my wife and my daughter.
Because I don't think people understand how much daughters need their fathers. Yes, a mother raises her daughter, great, but it's different when the father is mad involved.
Yeah.
Like, she grows up very differently about knowing herself and accepting herself, but not accepting bullshit from people.
And see, I feel like that conversation that you have with your child is a little older when it's about sex and your daughter. It's definitely high school, late high school. I feel like.
People
is that late? Is that late?
People these days are having sex at 12, 13 for real.
Okay, yeah, you're right.
For real.
I was fucking a nigga daughter at 14, so yeah, maybe.
Like, it's getting younger as we go.
He was definitely too late. Okay.
I feel as if.
Okay, maybe.
And maybe this is just my preference. Well, it is just my preference. But I legit feel as if, as for like a father, I mean, I would be equal in both.
No,
I can't. No, I'm saying I can't say that I would be more attentive because of something with either or. What I'm saying is, as much as I am on my son, I will be that on my daughter as well. But at the same time, I can't. I honestly, the only thing that as a father I will be able to do when it comes to my daughter is teach her how to protect herself from men.
But this is what I'll say. The reason why I say I'll be more on my daughter is a primal nature reason. Do you want to protect the prey or the predator more? Mm-hmm. Men are predators, bro. I mean, not to say in a bad way, but we like women. We go after women. A woman is somebody who wants to be not preyed on, but they want the attention. So I need to protect you and show you these are the steps. This is what you need to look for. They do this, you know what I'm saying? I need to give them the critique. As a man, I can tell you X, Y, Z, but you don't like what you like. I just need to show you how to be respectable. That's it. I need to give you 3-4 things. But for the woman, it's a list of 25. I need to pay more attention to this. I need to protect my daughter more. I don't really have to protect my son from nothing but the police and knowing to make his own decisions. My daughter, I need to protect you from women you around, know that they're your friends or not, your teachers, your coaches, all that shit, bro. You gotta protect women, bro. It's more than, and not to say you don't gotta protect your son.
I'm not saying that I'm not gonna protect my daughter.
I know, but
I'm not saying that. I'm not
bro.
saying that I'm taking away from anything from my daughter, but I'm talking about in terms of now. If we go in terms of like relationships, like and like that, and I'm not even just talking about that. I'm not even just talking about like just relationships. Like I understand it, yes, I'm always be there to try to protect her and let her know that it's hella rough for a woman. It's even more rough for a black woman in this world. Like, of course, I'm gonna embed that in her. I'm gonna let her. She will know from the time that she's like from the moment she take her first breath until the moment she take her last, who she is and what she's worth. She will know that. She will know it. But what I'm saying is, when you're teaching her about the woman that she is, the man that your son will be can affect everything. He's more of, like you saying, who would you protect, the predator or the prey? But both of them are preys because you're black. Because you're black.
I said that. I mean,
no, I'm talking about just in general in this world.
But
both of them are
you have to
preys.
protect your daughter from the man prey and society's prey.
Same as your son.
You have to protect your son from man prey.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
At childhood, yeah. Once my son knows what he wants,
I was about to say,
I don't feel like I don't need to protect you from men because you gonna, as a teenager, my son ain't gonna be on
I will say that it is a
nigga gonna
point.
get his ass beat by my son and me if a nigga touching my son.
But look, it is a point
At that age, but I get what you're saying.
It is a point in their life where you can stand back and stuff like that. But of course, that all time.
I feel like I gotta protect my daughter more from the world than my son.
And that's true. It's just the lengthwise of how long do you?
I feel like you gotta protect your daughter today, married, nigga.
Right.
Once my son an
Well,
adult,
see,
I ain't gonna say I gotta protect my son
And that's
until
what I'm
he's
saying.
adult. Yeah, I still gotta protect you, but at some point, you're a man, I'm a man. I can only help you so much, and you should be
Right,
able
and
to
then you
carry
can
the
make your
torch.
own
But my
son.
daughter, nigga, married,
No.
nigga, that's still my daughter.
Yeah.
You feel me?
Yeah.
Like.
In
That's why
that
I'm
case-
giving more to her.
in that
I'm giving
case-
more attention to her.
See, I feel like it's not more attention. I just feel like at some point,
I feel like conversational
I feel
sit
like-
downs. I need to have real conversations with my daughter.
I feel
My
like
son, yeah, we gonna be out. We gonna play sports. We gonna do
I
everything.
see
I'm
what
helping
you're saying
you.
now. I see what you're saying now.
right. At some point, you gonna ease up on your son because he can. Because he's becoming a man.
Exactly.
He is.
And I'm never easing up.
And he will be the man that. But I'm
Yeah.
saying, it's not you. That's not you giving more attention to your
It's
daughter.
just different.
You just hanging on a lot longer because she is a
That's
woman.
more attention, though.
I don't think it's not.
I don't think it's
Because you gonna still
How?
love your son the same.
I will, but the attention don't
Because
love, though.
but that's what I'm saying though. Like
I can get nobody no attention and still love it.
But that's what I'm saying. Like you, at some point, you would never have to. You would feel as if you never have to worry about your son again.
No, I still worry, but
Of
it's
course,
not
being
the
a
attention
parent,
I gotta
being
put
a
in
parent.
and the teaching. I feel like at some point, I don't have to teach my son, and I can't teach my son how to look out for women. I'm not a woman, bro. I can only teach. No,
that is not true.
No,
that is not true. You teach your son how to look out for women by leading by example.
But
that's how you teach your son to
That's
look out
only
for
to a
women.
certain extent, to a certain point. I can't do that my whole life, bro. You gonna know what you want. You gonna know what you want. My daddy can't teach me nothing now. That's how I say that. My daddy can't teach me shit about no women. He can tell me, oh, you got to do this and for women, yeah. But in terms of who I want, what I like, nigga, you can't teach me nothing no more. I know what I like. I know what I want. I know what I would tolerate. I know that. My daughter, I gotta be there because look, a man will do. I can't tell you. Look, I can't sit down with my son and be like, women do this, women do this, because every woman different. Your mama gotta do that. A mother has to tell her son, look, when women do this, they want this.
Mm-hmm.
When a woman act this way, it may because it is. I can't tell my son that. I don't know women. I don't have the women intuition. I don't have that anatomy. I'm not built like that. I can tell my daughter when a man do this, it may because it is.
Yes, but
That's what I'm saying.
if the woman is telling her son that, but you are acting in ways that are different than what she's saying, that's what he's going to lean on to. It's not going to be what she's talking about. He's going to follow his father's
My
lead.
daddy did other shit, and I'm doing what I'm doing. So it's just it goes into what you said. A woman needs to be with her son, or teach the son, and the dad needs to be with the daughter and teach the daughter.
I feel like a father could teach his son about women too.
Yeah, but up until a certain age.
No, I think
Once I'm an adult, you can't teach me shit. There's nothing you can teach me, bro. I've lived it. You can tell me, and we can have conversations. I may gain some insight, but it's not like changing who I am as an adult. It's not changing who I am. My life experience is going to change me.
But we're talking about as we're raising children, not as when they're adults. As we're raising children.
That's what we're talking about.
You're saying as an adult you can't teach me. We're not talking about as an adult. I'm
That's
talking
what
about
I'm
as
saying.
you're raising a child.
That's what I'm saying. In teenage years, yes, I'm still teaching my son. But once they're adults, I can't teach you. But I'm still teaching my daughter. I'm still teaching my daughter. I think
that's interesting because I feel like children always listen to their parents no matter what.
I don't feel like I'm learning anything from my parents at this point.
Are you open to learning things from your parents?
Yes, but I don't feel like
I'm learning from mine.
Listen. What I'll say is I feel like in my life, and I can't say I've done more than them, but I feel like I've done some crazy shit to know a lot of situations and know how to make me feel and what I like and what I don't like. Now, if I run into some shit I ain't never happened before, yeah, I may ask questions, but at this point, everything that I've had, everything that's happened to me I've learned from it, and I know, and I can teach. There's nothing different happening to me at this point currently. I can't say down the line, but right now, I don't need no teaching. I'm good. I know what I like. I know what's wrong. I know what's right. I know what I'm going to deal with. I know what I'm not going to deal with. That's me personally. And I feel like the same going to go for my kid. If I have a son, I have a daughter, she could be 30. I'm still going to look. And my son, we're going to have conversations, but in my mind, we're going to have conversations, but I'm going to talk to my son like I'm talking to a homie, like, look, this is what it is. This is what it is. You did this. This will happen. This was going on. This may be the outcome.
Explain to me the difference in talking to your adult son as a father versus talking to him as a homie. What's the difference in that for you?
Nothing. Just being. I'm a straightforward person, so I don't know. I can't say I don't have a son, but I'm gonna just be straightforward. As an adult, I'm being straightforward. There ain't no hold back, bro. This is what it is. You made a mistake, nigga. You wrong. You're wrong. You need to fix it. If you don't want to fix it, then you need to move on. That's it. There's no more. There's no less.
I would say
I'm talking to my adult kids as adults. I mean, you my child. I love you to death. I'm gonna be in your corner regardless. But you need to hear the truth. Regardless, you gotta hear the truth.
I would say, when it comes to my kids, the same way that I protect my daughter is the same way I'm gonna set my son to protect somebody else's daughter.
Yeah, I agree.
So I say this. No matter at what age, because I will say that, like, the way that I grew up, of course, and maybe this have a big thing to do with it as well. Since I didn't have any brothers, I grew up wanting to protect my sisters. So my natural instinct is like being a protector, like being the being an overseer, or now granted, don't get me wrong. If my father was the father type to be like, well, son, let's sit down, or this or whatever like that, but being that my mother raised me, as far as like when it comes to like women and my interactions with women and stuff like that, I would have to say that when it comes to like me raising like my future kids, the way that I would protect my daughter is the same way I would set my son up to protect somebody else's daughter. The stuff that I'm keeping my daughter from, I can't be like, hey son, I'm trying to keep you from this, but I will protect you from heartbreak. But
you can't.
But that I was about to say, because 9 out of 10 times it's gonna be. I'm just talking about my type of heartbreak. From what
heartbreak is heartbreak.
No, I'm talking about from what I went through in
heartbreak is heartbreak.
Right. But if you share your experiences, then that's saying that this could happen.
I think you can protect someone from heartbreak.
Like,
not gonna make their own decision.
Yeah.
You can only give advice.
Right.
People are gonna make their own decisions.
But if you are giving enough context for them to make the right decisions, that is in and of itself.
I was about to say stuff.
I've gotten advice from people and still went down the wrong road and made the wrong decision.
But I'm saying
it doesn't.
I'm saying in reference.
It's gonna happen in life.
As a woman, if my father had been more present, I would say there are a lot of.
You would never have your heart broken.
No,
see, that's
not what I'm saying.
That's what I'm saying. You can't protect anyone from it. It's gonna happen.
That's not what I'm saying. you can protect people from certain
From
situations.
it never happening.
See, but
I didn't say from it never happening.
So you can't protect anyone from heartbreak.
That's not what I'm
happening.
saying.
But look,
You just said it.
You're talking about in totality. I'm talking about you can protect people from heartbreak from certain situations.
Yeah, but in totality, you can't protect anyone. That's what I'm saying. You can't protect anyone, no matter what you say in any given situation. It's gonna happen.
I don't think you're hearing what I'm saying.
I get what you're saying. You're saying in
I
a
don't
certain
think you are.
situation. You're saying in a certain set situation, you can protect someone. But in totality, in life, you're gonna have heartbreak. It's gonna happen. It's going to happen.
And from his standpoint, look.
You're saying it's never gonna happen. You can protect someone from it never
That's
happening.
not what I'm saying at all.
That's what I just said. You're saying in a set situation, right?
Yeah.
And okay, but in totality in life, you can't get away from it. You can't save
Which
from
is
every
cool,
situation.
but from your
Okay, so if
comment
I
of
save you from it at
can't
14,
protect someone from heartbreak,
I
I'm
can't
saying
save it from you at
yes, you-
17.
Listen, you said you can't protect someone from heartbreak. I'm saying that's not necessarily true in general. There are some situations where you can protect someone in heartbreak.
I feel like he was saying as far as like a father talking to his son. Cause
Or daughter, like it's not
honestly,
happening.
but you can set your daughter up. You can set your
Yeah,
daughter up for it.
man. So there's
See,
certain
I was
things
about
will
to say.
happen.
I was about to say. I feel like it's
It's going to
certain.
happen. It's what I'm saying. It's going to happen.
If
It's going to
you
happen.
tell your daughter how you was growing up
It's
and
going
what
to
type of
happen.
dudes are out there,
It's still going to happen.
regardless if it happened.
That's what I'm saying. It's going to happen.
Right. Of
At
course.
some point, it's going to happen.
But
Is what I'm saying.
But if you set them up for it, it's not going to be as fatal as it was. Well, not fatal. That's
It's
a
still going
that's
to
a
be
bad
bad.
choice of words.
It's still going to be bad. Heartbreak is heartbreak. The
I mean,
first
that's
time is
true.
the worst.
And that's true.
That's what I'm saying.
That's true.
You can't. No, I get what you said. It may be different for my son because I can look. These might be the. I may be able to prevent him from. I may be able to say, look, these are the. Look, this is what's happening. This may be what happened, and maybe protect him from those steps. But down the line, it's gonna happen. It's gonna happen. That's life. It's life. Everyone's had their heartbreak. You can't name a person who hasn't. There's not one person on walking this earth who's never had the heartbreak. You ever had some heartbreak?
Mm-hmm.
It's gonna happen. But at 14, yes, I may be able to save you. But at 17, 19, 20, 21, at some point it's gonna happen. It's going to happen.
Yeah.
I can't save you every time. No one can save you every time.
From heartbreak.
Even if I tell you something, if you want to do something, you're going to do it. You just told us earlier, I was the type of kid you can't give me no context. Even if I tell you, look, I don't think you should do this because of XYZ, you fuck around, still do it. People, that's how people are.
Yeah, when you don't give me context. you literally just said everything I just said. I need context.
So if I give you context to anything, you're not gonna do it.
Let me put it to you in this way. Yes, I completely agree. Your heart will be broken one day. Great, wonderful. There's a difference from a father teaching his daughter, these are the type of men that you should stay away from, and here's why, right? As many of the player types that I ran into and thought it was sweet, if my father had had a conversation about that particular situation would never have happened. It does matter. It does matter. As a woman, which I can only speak from, it matters.
It's not gonna matter.
It matters a lot.
It's not gonna matter.
Okay.
I'm not saying all of those situations when it ended in heartbreak, if they did, but some of them still would because the nigga they gonna do as much as they need to get to the point they need to get to. So if a player needs to do X, Y, Z, and then go back to A, B, C, D, and until he gets to where he needs to get to, he gonna get there. So you could have known he could have kept acting as if he was the good dude, and you could have kept letting him in, and once you finally thought it was okay, he just did what he was gonna do. Is what I'm saying. Your dad could have talked to you as much as you wanted to. The conversation could have been had, but the situation's still gonna happen. Heartbreak is gonna happen. It's
Very much so
inevitable.
disagree.
It's inevitable.
I have a question.
It's inevitable.
Did any of the dudes that you used to talk to have any like characteristics of your father?
In hindsight, yeah, and they were very clear red flags.
No, I was only bring that up to say that, or to bring back around that you are accustomed to what you're taught. So
Right.
if your father was in your life in that manner, that's what you were accustomed to. So that's what you went after.
Exactly.
So in hindsight, if you are or if you want to protect your daughter from those type of men, then I mean, she gonna cling on to the type of man that her father
That her
is.
father is.
That's why most chicks that be in and I only bring this up because of movies and shit, but strip clubs when they be talking about daddy issues and shit.
Women date their fathers.
But name
men
how many
date
niggas
their
you know
mothers.
fuck strippers. And name how many niggas you know fuck bitches, just regular bitches.
I mean,
So you think the daddy issue is the same?
I was about to say the daddy
You think
issues
that
don't go
they're
away.
the same? You think they're the same? And most of the bitches they fuck?
Yeah.
You think the women you fuck have the daddy issues?
No,
Then
they could be
I doubt it.
if they looking for somebody.
If you thought of if you looked at a percentage in terms of the women that you haven't been the best guy to, you think they all got that issue? You think that's the issue?
no, because they still be around.
So when I say that, it's because whether their daddy was there and they was taught that, they still going after what they want. And granted, I ain't saying women don't have daddy issues. I'm not saying that's wrong.
But I'm saying,
But it's still shitty women
saying when it come-
who fuck around with a lot of dudes and be fucking, and it ain't the daddy issues, bro. It's not going after.
if the father is too overprotective, women react in different ways.
Or not protected
But
at all.
so daddy issues can be protective and overprotective.
Yeah.
So what? Okay, all right. I ain't gonna argue. I disagree, but I'm not gonna argue.
Cause 9 out of 10 times, if they overprotective, then they gonna cling on to the dude that's hella aggressive, hella demanding, hella like I want you under me like you mine.
Because they're used to being in those type of situations, so that's home to them.
So or if they with the playboy type,
I'm not disagreeing with you, bro. I disagree, but I'm not gonna argue. We have
Alright.
opposite opinions on this.
Alright, Lucy Gang, thank you for tuning in to episode 6 of the Loose Squares podcast. Please be sure to subscribe to our channel, like this video, add some comments to our page, and share this video. Also, if you have any ideas or suggestions on topics that you want to hear us talk about, please be sure to put it down in our comments or DM us on Instagram at Loose Squares_podcast and like our Facebook page at Loose Squares Podcast. Also, feel free to follow our personal accounts. Mine is at Nisi_Fox.
and mine is at is that king ISTHATKING.
It's written in the description.
I'm Lamar_V_Marty. I finally remembered it. I'm still gunning niggas in the comments.
Alright, y'all. See you next week.